Coming up on today's show, CHAdeMO gets another threat to its survival as France changes legal framework on EV charging provisions, full off-road specifications for the Hummer EV get revealed, and how price parity between internal combustion engines and electric vehicles might only be 6 years away. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to TEN, Transport Evolved News. It has been a fun week here with not one but two press cards to play with, and a very super exciting press briefing I attended this morning, but which I can't say anything about until Wednesday next week. Press embargoes can be so tough. This show is sponsored by the Electric Auto Association. Stick around until the end of the show to find out how joining the EAA can help you finance your own clean energy or transportation purchase. For more than a decade, the CHAdeMO standard of electric vehicle fast charging has helped countless electric car drivers cover long distances without waiting hours for their cars to recharge. Developed in Japan through a partnership between energy companies and automakers, it is still the de facto charging standard there, and it can support two-way power transfer, essential for vehicle-to-grid connectivity. But in recent years, we've seen more and more automakers move away from CHAdeMO, leaving the standard very much unloved. This week, the latest nail in CHAdeMO's coffin came from France, where the government removed a legal mandate requiring all charging providers to support the standard. Over in the United States, we're hearing rumblings that some established CHAdeMO networks are being quietly dropped as well, which makes us very sad. We want EV charging for everyone. The US National Transportation Safety Board has issued a preliminary report into the tragic crash that occurred in Texas last month, in which 2 men died in a Tesla Model S. While the NTSB did not say what it believed the ultimate cause of the crash was, it stated that while the Tesla Model S was equipped with autopilot, using it required both traffic-aware cruise control and auto-steer systems to be operational. Tests the agency carried out at the accident site with an identical car showed that traffic-aware cruise control could be activated, but not auto-steer. This initial report proves autopilot could not have played a part, but it does not discount driver fault and confusion over autopilot. The NTSB investigation continues with the help from local police NHTSA and Tesla, with a full report expected in due course. As it continues to prepare for full-scale production of its first all-electric truck, GMC has published more teaser video of its Hummer EV pickup undergoing off-road testing at the world-famous Moab off-road venue in Utah. At the same time, it published a full list of off-road specs for the high-end EV, including its maximum ground clearance with optional extract mode, 15.9 inches or 404 millimeters, an impressive 32.2 degree breakover angle, and the ability to wade at up to 32 inches, 813 millimeters. While the Hummer EV does come with single-pedal driving as default, GMC says you can opt for a more traditional two-pedal braking setup for off-road navigation of the toughest terrain. Lordstown Motors has been promising us for some time that it would begin production this year of its first electric vehicle, the Lordstown Endurance Pickup. But as we've covered plenty on this channel, its promises haven't seemed to tie up with reality, with prototypes catching fire, very little media exposure to its vehicles, and most recently, the retirement of a prototype Endurance just 40 miles into a 280-mile off-road race in Baja California. Now it is the subject of an SEC investigation, its stock has dropped to just $8 per share, and it's starting to look like it will become the next company to enter into the history books as one that never actually brought a vehicle to market. As the New York Times reported this week, Lordstown's rise was boosted by investors eager to kickstart the next Tesla, but, quote, Lordstown's lack of seasoning should have been apparent. Mercedes-Benz has officially unveiled a brand new concept car in the form of the Concept EQT, a new small van that parent company Daimler hopes will help it appeal to families and outdoor types. Smaller than its existing EQV minivan, the EQT Concept features sliding doors on both sides of the vehicle and can seat 7. Reminiscent of the Renault Kangoo or Nissan EMV200 Avalia in terms of proportions, it offers a 7-seat alternative to increasingly popular mid-size SUVs and crossovers coming to market. Being a concept, the interior is more focused on design than day-to-day practicality, but like previous EQ concepts from Mercedes-Benz, we can certainly see a vehicle that could enter into production. At least we can in Europe. US buyers aren't interested in minivans as a whole. A decade ago, Renault was the first automaker to dabble in the concept of battery swapping, working with Israeli firm Better Place to design and build an electric version of its Fluence sedan that could have its battery pack swapped out at a robotic swap station. The history books know how badly that went for Better Place, and for Tesla in fact, which also dabbled in the same kind of battery swapping idea. But in the light of other companies successfully operating battery swap stations, NIO comes to mind, Renault's CEO hinted this week that he's open to the idea of revisiting battery swapping technology for Renault's EVs, stating, quote, "It's not decided, but I see it as an interesting opportunity," end quote. Given a decade's worth of advancements in this area, I'm eager to see what happens next. Ford has announced that it will be providing new over-the-air software updates to F-150 pickup, Bronco and Mustang Mach-E customers this year. Called Ford Power-Up Software Updates, Ford says the updates will improve connectivity and add additional features. Among them will be Ford's recently announced Blue Cruise, a semi-autonomous driver assistance feature that's very similar to Chevrolet's Super Cruise system. Unlike Tesla's Autopilot, which operates on most US roads, Blue Cruise will operate on only around 100,000 miles of highway, but it doesn't require the driver to hold the wheel, only remain attentive to the road ahead. In addition to Blue Cruise, Ford says it will be introducing Amazon Alexa integration into all of its power-up compatible cars this fall. When buying a new car, it is common to have perks and incentives offered by either the dealership or the automaker in question to help you have confidence in your purchase. And at one point in time, automakers regularly offered either car club membership or rental perks for short-range EVs. These days, such perks aren't offered much because most new EVs can easily do several hundred miles or kilometers per charge. But Nissan North America has just started offering customers credits for the Turo peer-to-peer mobility platform when they buy their new Nissan Leaf. The idea to help customers who need to make long-distance trips and don't want to take their Leaf. While it sounds good on paper, I can't help but wonder if this is designed to eliminate concerns over the Leaf's slow charge time and poor sales in recent months. What do you think? Electric cars might be cheaper to operate and own over the long term than their internal combustion engine counterparts, but sticker price parity, when a new EV costs the same as a new petrol or diesel car, has long been a goal for the EV industry. Now, a new collaboration between Transport and Environment and Bloomberg New Energy Finance predicts we're tantalizingly close to that price point. At least, we are in Europe. Taking into account the falling price of battery packs, the effects of economies of scale, and government incentives, the two organisations estimate that we'll see electric vehicles sell for less than fossil fuel cars in Europe sometime between 2025 and 2027. If that can be achieved and EV charging networks expanded, there really will be zero excuses left not to go all electric. If you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know that we've got a soft spot for Turbo the Otter, mascot of Harbour Air in Vancouver, BC, Canada. That's partly because he's a sweetie, but also because Harbour Air has been busy testing a prototype all-electric seaplane for use in its fleet. This week, the company confirmed a partnership to certify the eBeaver, the electric beaver seaplane, for full commuter airplane service. It and its partners will collaborate with Transport Canada to retrofit all of its fleet with Magnix electric propulsion units and H55 battery packs. It will become the first all-electric commercial air fleet in the world. And that's on top of it being the largest seaplane airline, and of course, having the best little otter on staff. Oh yes, he is! And now it's time for Short Shorts. Citing the environmental impact of mining and using Bitcoin, Tesla CEO Elon Musk announced that the company would no longer accept the cryptocurrency for car purchases, though he did state he still believes in the potential of cryptocurrency's future. Production of Mercedes-Benz ultra-high-end luxury electric sedan, the Mercedes-Benz EQS, has begun at its Factory 56 in Germany. Though some of our friends in Europe have already gotten their hands on Hyundai's new IONIQ 5, the electric SUV will get its North American premiere at a virtual event on May 24th. And yes, we'll be there. Researchers from the Harvard School of Engineering have published promising research into a new solid-state multi-layer lithium-metal battery that could drastically improve EV charging and lifespan. We're working on making a story on it. It's been another great month in sales for the Wuling Hongguan Mini EV in China. With its new cabriolet variant going on sale this month, the company has already sold 100,000 units this year. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee has signed into a bill into law that would ban the registration of new internal combustion cars from model year 2030 onwards. He used a line-item veto to eliminate a provision that required new taxes to be in place for the ban to take effect, namely a per-mile road use tax. Fisker and Foxconn have formed a partnership to produce a new electric vehicle with a projected starting price of $30,000. But honestly, given past history, we're not going to hold our breath. Subaru has announced it's developing an all-electric SUV on a brand new EV-specific platform in partnership with Toyota. The company says sales will begin in 2022. The Chevrolet Bolt EUV has received a slightly lower EPA range rating than Chevrolet had originally announced, at 247 miles, in fact, while the refreshed Bolt EV has a slight gain in its efficiency, though its official range remains unchanged from previous models. Tesla works closely with so-called white hat hackers to keep its vehicles safe, and recently a team managed to hack a Tesla using a drone to deliver the hack to the car. But don't worry, a patch was already in place before the research was made public. After a kind of crowdfunding campaign, automaker MG has announced it's moving forward to develop its Cyberster concept electric roadster as a production vehicle. Tesla-specific tuning firm Unplugged Performance has just made a sanctioned repair and body shop service by Tesla. Could this be the first step towards Tesla's own version of a Mercedes relationship with AMG? We hope so. While total market share is still tiny, sales of battery electric cars in Turkey increased by 200% over the last 4 months. The Renault Twizy was supposed to be pretty popular. Sakuu Corporation has announced that it has plans to have its new solid-state 3D printed lithium-ion batteries ready by Q4 of this year. CNN is reporting that more than one half of Tesla cars produced in China last month were exported rather than sold to Chinese consumers. It could be a worrying sign for Tesla's Chinese operation, and Chinese media are not being kind to Tesla. Hyundai Motor Group, which includes Hyundai and Kia, are planning a $7.4 billion investment in the US by 2025, with electric vehicle production and refueling for hydrogen vehicles playing a major role in the company's expansion plans. The Mini Cooper SE has been given a small boost to 140 miles of EPA-rated combined range. It's still the lowest of any battery electric vehicle you can buy new today, but it's also one of the cheapest, and at least it beats last year's model. MAHLE is one of the largest automotive parts suppliers in the world, which is why it's announced the development of a new high-efficiency electric motor that uses no rare earth metals, or magnets for that matter, and it got our attention because of that simple fact. Bristol Cars from the UK is looking to rise, phoenix-like, from the ashes of its liquidation, with a brand new all-electric model targeted at a 2025 release date. Startup What EV is building a new EV charging stop in California. It plans to grow to an eventual capacity of 25 megawatts of truck charging. On the truck side of things, I should note that the company already has an order in place for 50 Tesla semis. Zero-emissions aviation firm Wright Electric has announced a new inverter design that is more efficient and offers improvements in energy density over previous generations. The inverter is a critical element for battery electric and hydrogen fuel cell airplanes. Volkswagen has released a new ID.4 variant for the UK market. It has a smaller battery pack and a correspondingly smaller price tag, and it makes the electric SUV eligible for the UK plug-in vehicle grant. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. The Tesla owner, who rose to fame last week by engaging autopilot in his Tesla Model 3 and then sitting in the back seat while it drove him around the San Francisco Bay Area, was arrested midweek, then promptly released. Pram Sharma, 25, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of reckless driving, but immediately after being released, he rode in the back of a friend's Tesla doing exactly the same thing that got him into trouble in the first place. Then he purchased a new Tesla because his old one was still impounded and continued to taunt his critics and the police in front of the media, telling reporters that he was rich as, insert expletive here, this thoroughly unpleasant individual is not only risking the safety of others, but risking the very future of Tesla's and other companies' autonomous vehicle programs. We really hope a local judge sees his disregard for the law and puts an immediate stop to his reckless behaviour. And finally, if you live in the US, you are probably familiar with how laughably easy it is to get a driving licence in some states. In fact, frankly, it's laughably easy to get a driving licence in many countries around the world. But in others, like the UK and China, for example, the licence you get can impact what type of car you can drive. If you take your test in an automatic car, for example, you're only allowed to drive automatic cars. And if you want to drive a stick shift, aka manual, you need to take your test in a manual car. And while the world of EVs means you're less likely to need a manual licence, some folks may need it for work-related reasons, which is why BYD in China has just developed an E3 with manual transmission. The electric car itself has a clutch pedal and a gear selector, but it's not actually a real manual transmission. It's weird, I know, but apparently it means you can take the test and get a manual licence. No smelly engine required. And on that note, we are done for the day. But before I go, I would like to thank the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967, and they firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EAA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a new clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EAA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to electricauto.org. We would love it if you'd comment and subscribe to this channel, as well as consider supporting us using one of the links below. There's also a link below to our Discord chat room, which is completely free to join, so give it a go if you'd like, and don't forget to check out our Redbubble TE merch store. I'll be back next week, but until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, stay safe, and keep evolving!